There are so many changes coming to Moco, and today I'm going to share all of the information you've been waiting for with you. And make sure you watch until the very end, because I have a very familiar face on with me discussing their favorite changes coming to Moco during Q1 2026. Are you ready? Let's go. First, why don't I show you all around the apartment, or what used to be the apartment, because things here have changed. And the first thing that you'll notice is that I am not inside of the apartment alone. This is now an open space for many players to come together and interact before they go and battle monsters in the portal. First, you have the Mochipedia. This is a log of all of the monsters that you encounter and interact with inside of Moco. Over time, you will get all of these unlocked, in turn, unlocking different tokens that you can utilize for cosmetics for free. Absolutely love this, and it's gonna be a collector's dream. The weapon store is where you'll be unlocking new weapons, or shall we call them classes, inside of Moco. At the point in time of me recording this, I have everything unlocked because, as you can see from the little D in the bottom left corner, I'm on the developer's build. Now let's talk about the gear area. These are the new classes, as many people have called them inside of the game. In actuality, they're different weapons that you can choose, and each of these weapons come with a complete loadout, and when you unlock all of them, you will have so many different ways to attack the monsters in the world that it's going to be incredibly fun. Now let's keep in mind, at the launch of Neo Moco, launching in Q1 2026, you will only be starting with 6 weapons, or should I say 6 classes. The classes or weapons that will be available right away include, and these are subject to change, the Speed Shot, Techno Fist, Wolf Stick, Vibe Shifter, Lava Shield, Poison Bow, Squid Blades, and the Headbanger. Now, seasons inside of the game are going to last for 1 month, and within that 1 month, 2 additional weapons will become available to you. These weapons are unlocked via class tokens that you earn from playing the game, both in your Shard Pass or throughout regular tasks that the game has to offer. It should cost us 1,000 tokens to unlock a new class. And the great thing is, you have the choice of whatever class that's available to choose from. It's not set in stone what your next available class will be. So there's 8 classes when the game launches, and then in that first season, meaning the first month, 2 other weapons will become available to you, including the Zap Sickle and the Hornbow. Now, of course, this is all subject to change because it's all in development right now. And actually, on that note, some of the items that we're looking at here inside of the game, such as the Bloodsucker, don't have completed art, and some of them have placeholder images. As you can see, the Zap Sickle has absolutely no color, and the attack button is actually the Monster Slugger. That's what I mean by placeholder images. It's okay, development is allowed. Now, unlike the previous version of Moco, the one that you're currently playing right now, the wardrobe is strictly cosmetic. There's no weapon loadouts or anything like that inside of here. It's basically just the cosmetics and emotes that you're choosing for your character. All this said, public service announcement, you are not losing any of your cosmetics that you've unlocked since day 1 inside of Moco, nor your titles. Everything that you have grinded as far as cosmetics and titles or paid for will be on your account once this update drops. And then of course we have the shop where you could purchase cosmetics and other items. No power will be bought inside of Moco. The team is strictly staying on task with cosmetic only monetization, which is actually incredible. In the developer's build, things are empty, but still. Remember guys, if you want to support my channel, use code ECHO in Moco and all Supercell games. When you do use code ECHO, you get invited to my exclusive chat inside of the real game right now. I'll be waiting for you guys to say what's up. Now, we also have the cool zone inside of the game where you can test out all of your weapons to get used to them before you take them into battle. This is great so you know how much damage things can actually do before you fight the big monsters. This is a zone you're familiar with. Although it looks different, the purpose of it is the same. Another way to test out weapons is from the gear closet. You could click on a weapon and click on try it out, and it will take you directly to a zone to try out these weapons. And this is actually the better way to do your testing because everything will be legit and function properly, which it sometimes doesn't do in the cool zone. Supercell even added an area to play soccer with your friends. This is incredible. And yeah, it's called soccer. Now let me show you an area where you can show off all of your achievements. The profile is the space to do that, and you may notice that there are different numbers associated with things that you've completed. These are real live counts, so it will show how many monsters you've hunted, monsters hunted with the speed shot, and you could choose any of the other items that you want to share in there that you may be proud of. You also can add any different badges you want as well if you want everyone to be able to see how awesome you are. Also inside of here, you will see your collector level, which means how many cosmetics you have, your player level, which tells you how close you are to getting yourself another class unlocked, your title, which I have Super Mo Creator, and of course, your name, which is changeable if you want to use some Mo Gold. You can even edit your gesture if you want to, so you can give the people that visit you the gesture that you want them to see. I like these customizations. I think they're a nice touch. Now, one of the biggest changes that was implemented in this new version of Moco is that player level regarding how much power you have is gone. What this means is you could be a day one player or have been playing for a year, and you could all play the same things inside of the game at the same time with no power discrepancy. Now, this is a really cool feature for many reasons, including the social element of the game. So many players struggled when playing the current version of Moco, the one you're playing now, because if you've been playing for 3 months and you tell your friend to play because the game is awesome, you guys have a difficult time playing together because of the power discrepancy. Removing that completely from the game is something that has never been seen in this genre before, which means Supercell is creating something brand new, which always seems to work out well for them. So you may be wondering, well, if power progression is gone and everyone is on the same playing field and it's actually a skill-based combat, what are you going to be grinding inside of the game? Well, there are 2 things that are currently inside of the build that you're grinding. One of those is your player level. And again, the further you progress in your player level, the more things you will unlock and be able to attain yourself more classes or more weapons to play. In addition to that, each weapon has a mastery level, which can also be grinded. And upon doing this, you get more badges and you get more of these metrics that you unlock along the way, ending in both titles and a shader for your weapon. Think of it as a Call of Duty Modern Warfare golden weapon that you unlock once you complete all tasks with your weapon. That is something very similar to what we're having here inside of Moco, and I hope that they go even further to Diamond, Platinum, and maybe even Rainbow as time goes on. At the end of the day, we need things to grind in this action RPG style game. And I love that it's not actual power, because that opens up the ability for everyone to play together in all areas of the game. It makes the game completely fair and based off of skill, not power that's been gained from either purchasing or from grinding for extended periods of time. Now keep this on the down low, but this could open up Moco to the entire world of esports. Just saying. That could be awesome. Now, I know I've said this before, but I want to stress it again. Moco is staying 100% cosmetic only monetization, and anything that you've already purchased inside of the game in its current form will be in the game when you play it after this Neo Moco 2.0 and change Q1 2026 update. Don't worry, all your stuff is there. But of course, the power that we talked about, well, that's not. Remember, any experience that you've gained since Moco has started will be converted into exclusive cosmetics for you as a reward for that experience grind as we move over to the new system. Now, I want to talk to you about the game modes inside of Moco and how these are also changing. Let's just say we have a new rotating game mode system where no game mode will ever be the same twice inside of Moco. Yeah, that's right. The team is massive and they're continuously making new maps, game modes, monsters, and more. So every day we play, the game has something new and something different that won't repeat, at least for a long time. So the way that this is going to look is every 4 hours, there's going to be a new game mode or some new kind of a mod that's going to enter the game. That means 6 different times throughout the day, you're going to have something brand new drop inside of the game. Literally never get bored. And if you don't jump on them, you may never get to experiencing them again. So, FOMO anyone? Now, the available game modes to play are going to be a mixture of open worlds, rifts, dojos, and a PvP mode, because we still have some PvP inside of the game, and maybe it's better with these new classes. Now, you may notice I have so many options available to me, but again, this is because I'm inside of the developer's build and many things have been unlocked. There won't be as many of these available at one time inside of the new version of Moco when we all start playing it. So just keep that in mind. But again, every 4 hours, a rotation. Now, there is a brand new game mode, and let me be honest, I have yet to master it, and it's called Score Hunt. I'm gonna tell you about it a little bit. Inside of Score Hunt, you dive into a world with a bunch of big monsters that you need to take down with a team of 3 other players. That equals a team of 4. Your goals are to reach a point limit, or a point goal, inside of that mode. Those limits, or those goals, are 800 points, 900 points, or 1,000 points. Once those are achieved, you'll be rewarded with experience for your player level. The game mode is really cool, and I have to say it is quite challenging. You're gonna wanna put together a solid team to take this one down and achieve all that XP rewards. Now, since we're on the topic of game modes and worlds and all of that, I have to talk to you about my experience while at Supercell. I spoke to the team, which was a very, very large team of people, all with the same goal to make Moco amazing and huge and to continuously build more. And it's been told to me that changes and modifications can be thrown into the game on the fly. This means anything is a possibility. We can even have massive chicken feet slamming down on the ground that we need to avoid, or any other ideas that we come up with, the creators, you come up with, the community, or the developers, whatever crazy things they get in their minds. And I love that the game is gonna be that fluid, versatile, and able to change on the fly. It's a good thing. Now it's time to talk about probably what you've been waiting for, and that is the classes, or the weapons inside of the game and how they're changing. I have to say, many of the weapons have a name change, and almost all of the weapons have changed how they actually function. This is all brand new. It felt amazing upon playing it myself. I have to say, me and the other creators there at Supercell last week really did enjoy the new class system, and we don't at all miss the old version of how weapons and classes actually worked. So, this is a positive change in my opinion. I think you guys are gonna like it. All weapons are rated on a star system. 1 star means it's the easiest of weapons to use. 2 stars means it's a little bit more difficult, all the way up to a 5-star rating where we have Singularity, which should be one of the more difficult weapons to use, at least based off of what the Supercell team thinks. I will say, as time goes on, I'd like to see even more enhanced, advanced, and difficult weapons, and even some more basic ones that are super easy to use for new players. But more weapons are going to continuously be introduced to the game as the months, years, and decades go on. We can hope. Now, keep in mind, the game is going to ship with only 8 weapons, and as you can see right here, I have 19 unlocked, all which will come from the first few months of the game update being live. Remember, 2 new weapons every season, which means 2 new weapons available every month. And you could choose these in any order that you want. Even if you don't unlock the first available 8 weapons before new ones drop, you can choose the new weapons with the tokens that you've grinded and completely ignore some of the original weapons that you may not have an interest in playing. So it's a really versatile system that I think is perfect for all players. Now, the first weapon that you unlock inside of the game, and one of the easiest ones to use, is the speed shot. And this weapon is the most similar to what you already know. It has your dash ability, your primary attack, and then of course you have 3 different skills. Here you have Cold Snap, which shoots a blast of piercing ice towards enemies and it slows them down. You also have Rain Supreme, shooting a volley of explosive arrows that deal area damage on impact. And you have a healing ability, which is very simple. It's called Comeback, and it heals you over time. The next weapon is the Horn Bow, with a primary attack that shoots bolts that deal damage at medium range. Then we have Strike, which is a dash forward, dealing damage and stunning enemies in a wide area. Hitting enemies charges up your Unbridled Fury skill. The bigger the enemy, the more your skill charges up. We have Dragon's Breath as the second skill. Spray a cone of toxic Dragon's Breath, dealing area damage multiple times and slowing non-boss enemies. Dealing damage with this skill also heals you. The bigger the enemy, the more you heal. Serpentine Spirit is the third skill, and it increases your attack speed for 5 seconds. And the final skill is Unbridled Fury. Charge up the skill by hitting enemies with your attack and strike. This is the skill that you've been upgrading and charging up through utilizing your main attack and all of your other skills. When fully charged, use this skill to shoot multiple piercing bolts in a wide area, dealing damage and stunning enemies. Yes, the Hornbow is a medium range shotgun-like weapon. Third up is the Poison Bow, and this is one that I absolutely love, not just because I think it looks amazing, but it also performs amazing. Your regular attack is going to shoot long-range poisonous arrows that damage enemies over time. After landing 4 hits, your attack shoots a volley of 3 piercing poisonous arrows. You have your regular dash as your first ability, then you have Lethal Dose. Instantly deal extra damage to all poisoned enemies and renew their poison for 6 more seconds. The poison then spreads to nearby enemies. Purge, remove poison from all enemies, dealing heavy damage and stunning them. And the final ability is Antidote, and yes, it is a healing one. You charge up this skill by damaging enemies with poison. The bigger the enemy, the more it charges up. Use this skill to heal yourself based on how much charge you have built up. Activating this skill at full charge will heal you completely. Headbanger is one of the most satisfying weapons inside of the game. Its regular crash, boom, bang attack smashes the ground in front of you, dealing area damage at a close range. It has a big bang effect on the primary attack that, after landing 3 hits, allows your next attack to have a big bang that deals more damage, stuns enemies, and heals you. The bigger the enemy, the more you heal. Hitting enemies charges up your medical mosh skill as well, which we're gonna get to. The first skill is called Pit Clear. It's a quick dash forward, hitting enemies with your headbanger. Hitting enemies charges up your medical mosh skill. The bigger the enemy, the more the skill charges up. And this is gonna be something that you see become a normal thing. Bigger enemies equals more charge. Second skill is Pogo Thrash. Leap forward and thrash your headbanger, dealing area damage and stunning enemies when you land. If there's an enemy in the direction you jump, you'll land in front of it. Skill number 3 is called New Wave. Smash your headbanger into the ground, creating a long distance shockwave that deals damage and stuns enemies. Hitting enemies charges up your medical mosh skill. The bigger enemy, the more your skill charges up. And finally, this medical mosh that we've been hearing about, charging up this skill by hitting enemies with everything that we've just went over. When charged, activate this skill to spin wildly. And yes, it is wild, dealing area damage and becoming immune to stuns, slows, and pushbacks. The Spin Sickle is now called the Storm Weaver, and its primary attack is swinging to deal area damage in front of you at a close range. Whirlwind is part of that primary attack. After landing 5 hits, your next attack creates a piercing whirlwind, damaging and stunning monsters. And then there are 4 skills to accompany. First one being Surge. Quickly dash forward, slicing enemies with your blade. Damaging enemies charges up your skills. The bigger the enemy, the more your skill charges up. The second skill is Tornado. Charge up this skill by dealing damage with your Sharp Gust attack and Surge Dash. When charged, activate to enter Tornado mode, pulling enemies towards you and consistently dealing area damage. Then there's Thunderstorm, which is the third skill. Charge up this skill by dealing damage with your Sharp Gust attack and Surge Dash. When charged, activate to shoot lightning at random enemies, stunning them. And then that fourth skill is called Healing Winds. Again, you're going to charge this up through utilizing your other ones. And then when charged, activate to create a healing wind that constantly heals you and nearby allies. Next, we have the Fancy Wrench. The primary attack is called Trick of the Trade. Fire a blast of energy towards a single enemy. After landing 7 hits, your next attack summons a little helper turret that rapidly shoots a single enemy. Of course, you have a dash. And then your first skill is called Rush Job. Temporarily boost your attack speed. That also affects nearby little helpers. So if you want them to shoot like crazy, you're going to hit that skill. You also have Scheduled Maintenance, which is a healing skill. Heal yourself and nearby little helpers. They're also shielded from damage and prevented from deteriorating for a while. So it's gonna allow them to survive longer. And the more that are in range, the more they're gonna take the benefits of scheduled maintenance. And finally, Big Helper. Shoot a ball of energy from each little helper, damaging enemies when hit. Each ball bounces between enemies, stunning them. Yeah, you could imagine you could deal a ton of damage with these little helper turrets with this fancy wrench weapon. You remember the wolf stick? Well, the name is the same, but it actually functions differently now, where you can summon a massive wolf. With the primary weapon, you're gonna fire 3 attacks that damage single enemies at a long range. And your combo is, after landing 17 hits, your next attack summons your wolf to fight alongside of you. If your wolf is alive, successful attacks charge up your wolf's Feral Frenzy skill, which we will see momentarily. You have a dash. Your first skill is Alpha Flare. Shoot a powerful piercing attack with your wolf stick. If your wolf is alive, successful attacks charge up your wolf's Feral Frenzy skill. And again, the bigger the enemy, the more the skill charges up. The second skill is called Lonesome Howl. Your wolf howls, taunting all enemies to attack it, so essentially taking all of the enemies off of you onto itself. And then you can strike it with Feral Frenzy. This is where the wolf stick shines. When frenzied, your wolf becomes immune to stuns, slows, and pushbacks, and increases the attack speed. The wolf attacks also heal itself and you. Building more frenzy charge results in higher attack speed buffs and more healing. Plus, you get an insanely big brolic wolf. I just think that's fun. Vibe Shifter. Yeah, you're probably looking at this weapon and saying, looks kinda boring. Well, I'll tell you what, this is one of the best in the game. The Vibe Shifter comes with 2 primary attacks, neither of which have a cooldown. So no longer do you have to rely on RNG for your staff of new vibes to either heal or attack. You control it with 2 attack buttons. So your Bad Vibes attack, it shoots bad vibes to damage enemies at long range. After landing 7 hits, your next attack is a 360-degree spin that deals even more damage. The 360 combo charge is shared with the Good Vibes attack, so it can go back and forth for either or. Now, what is the Good Vibes attack? Well, of course, it's the healing portion. Shoot good vibes to heal yourself and allies at long range. 360 degrees, again, after landing 7 hits, your next attack is a 360-degree spin that restores health, and again, it's shared with the Bad Vibes, so you can legitimately have complete control over attacking for damage or for healing. Next up, we have Lava Shield, which used to be Toothpick and Shield, which is actually a lot more fun now than it was previously. The primary attack is going to be utilizing your lance to deal area damage in front of you and at close range. Okay, things haven't changed so much yet, but your first skill is called Burst, and it's going to give you a lot of mobility, allowing you to rush forwards, dealing area damage and stunning enemies in front of you. This skill, don't sleep on it. It has a small cooldown of 3 seconds, and it actually makes the weapon really fun. Second skill is called Magna Plume. Emit a Magna Plume that temporarily protects you from all damage. The shield explodes when it expires, stunning enemies and dealing area damage. Holo Scream is the third skill. Scream to taunt all enemies to attack you. Again, you're gonna be playing the tank, you're gonna take the damage. Or are you? Because the fourth skill is called Ring of Fire. Charge up this skill by receiving hits from enemies. The bigger the enemy, the more your skill charges up. When fully charged, use the skill to heal yourself and deal area damage around you. The fire also pushes back enemies and stuns them. Yeah, guys, Lava Shield is legit and a ton of fun to play. Okay, then there's Sparky, which I have to say, over in Finland, was a player favorite. Sparky's primary attack is called Firestarter, where Sparky breathes fire at medium range that damages and burns enemies, as you would expect. But it has an overheat mode, where if Sparky shoots for too long, it explodes, pushing enemies back and stunning them, but watch out, you get stunned too. So yeah, you don't want to burn, or I should say melt your weapon. You gotta actually keep in mind how long you're shooting for. It includes a dash, and you have Cute Cooldown, used to heal yourself and cool Sparky down, resetting its overheat bar. The second skill is called Precious Pyromania, and shoot flames all around you, damaging and burning enemies in range. Okay, so it's a good AoE attack. And the third skill is Adorable Annihilation. Instantly damage all burning enemies, stunning them and burning them even more. So essentially, when everything is on fire, you click that and everything explodes. Yeah, Sparky's pretty awesome. And guys, I know you're happy about this one because Squid Blades is again Squid Blades. No more Jaded Blades. Invisibility is back. And the regular Assassin's Edge attack repeatedly stab a single enemy at close range with high attack speed. Successful attacks charge up your Blade Burst skill. I will just say that Squid Blades is extremely satisfying and very potent. The first skill is called Ambush. Dash forward, dealing heavy damage to the first monster in your path. Enemies are stunned and slowed when hit. The Jade Stream is the second skill. Throw piercing blades in a cone shape. Hitting enemies charges up your Blade Burst skill. The bigger the enemy, the more your skill charges up. And then we have Invisible Ink, which is the invisibility that we all missed so much from Squid Blades. Well, it's back. Become invisible for 5 seconds. Enemies cannot see you during this time, even if you attack them. And that's not just primary attack. You can also utilize your other skills and remain, or I should say, retain the invisibility. And then we have Blade Burst, which is actually nuts. You're charging up this skill by hitting enemies with the attack and Jade Stream, but when charged, activate the skill to throw piercing blades in all directions, dealing damage and becoming immune to stuns, slows, and pushbacks. You are essentially spinning, throwing your shards for extensive amounts of time, doing massive damage. It's really cool, and it's really fun. Another one of my favorites is one that is so versatile. I'm talking about the Techno Fists, which have changed, ladies and gentlemen. They were a fan favorite before, and I'm predicting they're gonna be a fan favorite now. The primary attack is a special attack that changes based on your selected tempo. So selecting tempo does not reset the combo bar. Essentially, you can either attack with a splash damage, a single target damage, or a heal, each of these having a 4-second cooldown. So if you go choose the first skill, which is called Monster Beat, it's gonna deal area damage, plus it's gonna give a movement boost to teammates around you. You have selected that and are locked into that for 4 seconds. Or if you select the second skill, again, you're locked in for 4 seconds, but now you're gonna be dealing more single target damage, and it's gonna give that aura around you of an attack speed boost to yourself and your teammates. Or you can become a straight up healer that focuses on, well, healing. Yeah, you won't be able to attack for 4 seconds and deal any damage, but during those 4 seconds, you're gonna be able to shoot and heal yourself, your teammates, and of course, you're gonna have a healing aura around you. And after you hit 7 hits, you unlock the combo, which does a mega pulse of healing to everyone that's near you. Techno Fists, the new version, is another one of my favorites. We have 7 more weapons, so let's keep on going. Next up is the Wasp Sword, and don't worry, you still are going to have some pet spawns to fight alongside of you. The primary attack here is going to be to swing your Wasp Sword to deal an area damage in front of you at close range. The combo attack is every 3rd successful attack summons a Wasp pet that attacks a single enemy. Wasps are temporary and they expire after a little while. You have a dash skill. This one is unique though because you dash forward at a high speed, striking enemies in your path with your Wasp Sword. If you hit at least 1 enemy, it reduces all your ability cooldowns by 2 seconds, so a nice benefit to dash with this one. The first attack is, well, wasps. Summon 3 wasp pets that attack a single enemy. Wasps are temporary and they will also expire after a while. The second skill is Wasplosion. Command all of your active wasps to explode, dealing heavy area damage and stunning enemies caught in the blast. And then Sacrificial Heal is exactly what you would think it is. Your wasps sacrifice themselves, releasing a healing pulse that restores health to you and your nearby allies. Those wasps are such good team players. And the Medicine Ball, another weapon that was kind of stale in the previous version of the game, at least that's what many people think. But is it still? The primary attack is to swing your ball to deal area damage in front of you and at close range. The combo attack is where every 3rd attack also heals you and all of your nearby allies in the area in front of you. Successful attacks will charge up your skills. Now, of course, there's a dash where you're gonna do a quick dash forward, hitting enemies with your medicine ball along the way, and if you hit at least 1 enemy, you charge up your skills. Let's talk about those skills. The first one is called Swing. Use your attack and dash to charge up Swing. Swing your medicine ball around you, damaging and stunning monsters. We then have personal shield, which you could probably already guess what it does. Use your attack and dash to charge it up and shield yourself from all damage temporarily. Also, heal yourself. And then shield up. Use your attack and dash to charge it up and shield yourself and all allies around you from all damage temporarily. So this is the weapon that is truly you being a team player. You just want to heal everybody. Now the Bloodsucker, a weapon that is actually insane, not only in looks, but also in functionality. This one right here has a very unique build to it. Swing your Bloodsucker to deal 1000 area damage in front of you at close range. Warning, it causes 200 damage to yourself. And this is going to be a trend with this weapon. As you attack, you lose health, but you do massive damage. So you can't just spam your attacks with the Bloodsucker. You're gonna need to use some precision. The first skill is called Blood Dash. Quickly dash forward, hitting all enemies with your Bloodsucker, causing 1000 damage. This one causes 300 damage though, warning to yourself. The second skill is called Blood Strike. Swing your Bloodsucker to deal 3000 area damage around you, but warning, this one causes 900 damage to yourself. The third skill is called Lifesteal. Used to attack in a cone, dealing area damage and slowing monsters hit and healing you for each enemy hit. Bigger enemies heal more. This third skill is going to be important to you because the damage you're taking from attacking needs to be replenished. This skill can do that. And Mega Steel is the fourth and final. Attack all around you multiple times, dealing area damage and slowing monsters hit and healing you for each enemy hit. Bigger enemies heal more. You are immune to stuns, slows, and pushbacks during Mega Steel. This is one of the most unique weapons, both in how it looks as well as in how it functions. The Monster Slugger is back, and with its primary attack, you're going to swing your bat to deal area damage in front of you at close range. And then you have Home Run, which is part of that primary attack. Every fourth attack is a home run swing that pushes back and stuns enemies after a delay. The enemies explode, causing area damage and stun. Hitting an enemy with your home run unlocks Rush skill. More on Rush skill in just a second. A dash is included inside of this. We have Rush, which is the Rush skill, which means you're gonna rush forward, stopping at the closest enemy in that direction, hitting with your bat, dealing area damage in front of you and stunning monsters. Hitting any enemy with Rush skill unlocks Rapid Strike skill. Now the Rapid Strike skill, hit with your bat many times quickly, dealing area damage in front of you. Last hit in sequence pushes back and stuns enemies. Hitting an enemy with Rapid Strike unlocks Baseball's skill. You see how they're all unlocking in progression here? Something unique to the Monster Slugger. Now, the Baseball skill throws multiple baseballs, dealing damage and bouncing between enemies, stunning them. Monster Slugger actually seems like a sports fanatic's dream. Now here's another one that's really cool. It's called the Zapsicle, and as you can see, it's still a work in progress, but this weapon is actually insane. The primary attack is called High Voltage, and you're going to swing your Zapsicle to deal area damage at close range. But when you supercharge that primary attack, after landing 3 hits, your next attack is a supercharged swing that damages a larger area and electrifies all enemies hit. But then we have 4 skills, starting with Bolt. It's a quick dash forward, electrifying all enemies when hit. You're immune to damage while dashing. The second skill is Certified Zapper. Fire a shocking bolt that electrifies the closest enemy. The shock can spread and electrify up to 4 other enemies. Then we have Spider Lightning, which is actually awesome. Transform yourself into a ball of lightning that travels to each electrified enemy, dealing damage and removing electrification as you go. You're immune to all damage while transformed. Note, cooldown is shared with the Shock Therapy skill. Shall we talk about Shock Therapy? Well, it's the 4th skill available. It will remove electrocation from all enemies, healing yourself for each affected enemy. The larger the enemy, the more you heal. And again, the cooldown of this is shared with the Spider Lightning skill, so you need to make your choice. But it is very satisfying when you jump between enemies, doing massive electrification damage. Now the portable portal is exactly what it sounds like. You're gonna be pulling around a portal with you that allows enemies to come and fight alongside of you. The primary attack here shoots 3 squigglies which deal area damage at a long range. The first skill is called Portal. Create an unstable portal that summons temporary dragonling monsters that fight on your side. Portal expires after a while, and just after expiring, summons a temporary dragonling shaman who heals you and follies around you and fights on your side. I like this a lot. Then we have the second skill, relocation. Shoot a powerful big squiggle which explodes, dealing area damage at long range. After the squiggle explodes, your active portal instantly teleports there, dealing area damage upon arrival. Teleport is the third skill, where you will instantly teleport to your active portal, dealing area damage upon arrival. And the fourth skill is implosion. Your portal sucks in monsters around it and after a while implodes in a huge explosion, dealing heavy area damage and stunning. So as you can see, there is a lot of versatility and a learning curve that comes along with Portable Portal. And then Singularity, the one and only 5-star difficulty weapon inside of Moco as of right now. Let's break it down. Orbit is the primary attack. Launch your Singularity in a circular arc towards the closest enemy, dealing damage to enemies it passes through. Thanks to space-time shenanigans, the Singularity even passes through walls. And then there's 4 skills to support. Warp is the first skill. Open a wormhole with your Singularity, warping to its location and dealing area damage. Launch your Singularity before using this skill. Essentially, you're going to need to use your primary attack, which is your Singularity, to do any of the skills that we're talking about here. Quantum Blast is the second skill. Detonate your Singularity, dealing area damage and stunning enemies. Launch your Singularity before using this skill. Black Hole is the third. Create a black hole with your Singularity, pulling enemies in with its gravitational force. After a short delay, the black hole explodes, stunning enemies and dealing area damage. And finally, the fourth skill, Restoration Radius. Your Singularity emits a pulse of restorative energy, healing you and all allies inside of its radius. And obviously, you need to launch your Singularity before utilizing this skill. I have to say, I have not mastered this one. It is one that takes a lot of time to get used to and is very unique compared to all other weapons inside of the game, but once you do master it, it's going to be difficult for your opponents to handle you in battle. Whew! So that is all 19 weapons available inside of the game as of right now, and remember, the Supercell team is continuously creating new weapons to come every single season. Remember, 2 weapons per month. 2 weapons per season. And here's a reminder of the 8 weapons that we discussed earlier on in the video that are going to be available when the game launches in Q1 2026. And then unlockable in the first season will be Zapsicle and Hornbow. The social hub has been cleaned up and is becoming a lot easier to use. Yes, lobbies are returning in some form to Moco, which is something that is much needed. More details on this and inside peek are to come, so make sure you stay tuned for that. To be honest, I'm just happy that lobbies are coming back in some type of a form, because that was a real great focus of the game, allowing us to play with our friends easily and dive into these events without all the friction. So good job bringing those back. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this as I've been showing you all the weapons, but there is a revive feature inside of the game. Essentially, when you're playing with a team and when you die, your ghost is on the ground. If your teammates come close to you, you will be revived more quickly, which is a great feature, especially when you're running team-based game modes or going against big bosses. Good touch. If you haven't noticed, so many changes are coming to Moco, and in my opinion, all very positive. I'm very curious to see how all of you are going to take the no XP grind. Your grinding experience for your account, you're grinding experience for your weapon progress masteries, but you're not grinding experience for power. What do you guys think of it? Now, I know you've been waiting. You're wondering, who is the guest Echo has in this video? Let me introduce you to Joao, community manager for Moco, someone that I spent a week's time hanging out with, learning about Moco with, and really meeting the entire team around. This man let me know everything that's going on with Moco, and we get to chat with him for a few minutes. As promised, I have Joao, the community manager for Moco, here for a little discussion at the end of the video. First, Joao, I love spending time with you over there at Supercell headquarters, and even more, I loved what I saw from Moco, if everyone wasn't able to tell from watching this entire video. But I have 2 questions for you, and the first one of those questions is, what is your favorite part of the new update that's coming to Moco?
Hey, Heko. Very glad to be here in your channel. First things first, it was amazing to have you here. Please come back as soon as possible. We need you here. but since it's not possible, of course. So to answer your question, yeah, it's very hard to answer. I gotta tell you, it might look biased a bit, but it feels like this update was a bit tailor-made for me. First, because I was never a theory crafter, let's say, so I never had a lot of patience to build my builds. And I was always going on YouTube channels and change everything every time I wanted to play a new Rift. So for me, having these classes that are much more exciting and much more, how would I say, like player, kind of very personalized and with very different styles of gameplay, it's more exciting for me because I'm more of a in the field kind of player where you go on the map and you try these different weapons and work it out depending on which Rift or which world are you playing, trying out different weapons and doing different gameplay styles. But I guess if I had to choose one, I would go for the fact that we don't have power progression. But this is very me personally. I know that it's very divisive and depends on who you ask. Maybe people will answer differently. For me, I never cared too much about power progression, especially if you think about current Moco, where the power progression additions are very short and it doesn't feel super meaningful. You go up to 50, and then you continue on Elite Hunter. Never felt very meaningful to me. So for me, not having power progression and basically having the feeling that when I go on a Rift and I beat it, it was because of my skill and not because of my power. So it feels that every map is really fair towards my own power, and then it's all on me. It's all on how good I am or how bad I am, and trying to solve the puzzle, regardless of if I'm too powerful or less powerful. And another aspect that I love about no power progression is that the game is going to feel much more social, because everyone can play together. There's no difference in power and everyone is equal in a way. So everyone playing together, regardless of your progress, and having this immersed feeling of social, as we had a bit on the beginning of chapter 1, bringing that back again, but forever and constantly for Moco. That's really what I'm most excited about.
Man, that is a big answer. That's a bigger answer than I was expecting out of you. But yeah, you touched on quite a few things. When Moco first announced that they wanted to be more social, I was sitting and thinking, how are they going to be more social? How is that meant? But as you just mentioned, removing the power progression means that I could have my buddy that has never played the game join me today and we could play everything together. And now, after spending time with you guys and really understanding the vision, it makes complete sense what you guys meant by being more social, and removing the power progression is going to be a huge part of that. I actually love it as well. Now, I have one more question for you before I let you go and get back to work, and that is, this may not even be game focused, but what are you the most excited about regarding this update coming out and really the future of Moco?
Yeah, first things first, getting back again on the social aspect. I hope to have the game bringing that feeling of social and excitement that we had, maybe a bit in the beginning of chapter 1, but for a long period of time, of course. Now that the game will be much more varied with always different content coming up, and also, the ability that everyone can jump in and play with everyone. I think those two ingredients mixing together, it's going to make an explosion. Also, very excited to see on your channels, live streams and everything. And since we're going to have much more varied events, some a bit more crazy than the others. So I'm sure that's going to bring a lot of streamable moments, memeable moments, viral moments, why not? So I'm really, really excited to see everything coming up together. Also internally, in talking about these events, because now we're going to have the ability to change them as we please, and making crazy stuff on the go, and we don't have to wait for an update to drop a new event that might be a bit unexpected. I'm really, really excited to see all these new experiences, bringing them to the game and see how players react to them.
Yeah, I can tell you that myself and the other creators that were out there at headquarters are also excited about everything you just mentioned. And I can almost guarantee that the community, after hearing about all of these changes, are going to be so excited for the new version of Moco. Q1 2026. I can't wait. Thanks so much for coming through, Joao. I really appreciate your time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for anything relating to Moco, and remember to use code ECHO to support me in all Supercell games. Stay tuned. I'll see you in another video very soon.